NSC Fan TV, Drew here with Reid, R-E-I-D, after a 1-1 draw with New York Red Bulls. Reid, I have two things. First, what did you think about Mukhtar's goal?
When we talk about Mukhtar, I brought out my... If you're telling me he's not the MVP, you're crazy.
You're crazy.
How many other players in the league can score a worldie like that? And it's not only that. When we talk about MVP, people talk about Heel on New Orleans or maybe Rui Diaz or whoever. There's nobody who brings more value to the team than Mukhtar. We're a different team without him. When he's on, we're much more hard to defend than when he's not playing or when he's having a bad day. You look at what we did earlier in the season. He was off. He was having some bad games. We consistently were drawing against teams we should have been beaten by 2 or 3 goals. He adds so much to this team. He's clearly the most valuable player in the league, and I don't want to hear any sort of debate. Most goals and assists combined, that's it for me. He's the MVP.
Another thing too, when he was off on yellows for a bit, right? If I remember correctly.
At what point in the season?
Wasn't he just off on yellows? Yeah, Mukhtar off on yellows. That was weird without him. It wasn't the same. Like going forward, without Mukhtar, he's just
Leal and all of them are great, but Mukhtar just brings a new element to the team.
Mukhtar's got good hold-up play. Probably our best finisher, as Duncan was saying.
Just most creative player.
Most creative.
The most.
Yeah.
He and Leal are both genius creators.
Yeah. I wish they'd put Leal farther forward usually because this game it was Mukhtar and Sapong up front.
Early in the season we were playing long balls to Leal. He was always tracking them down. He was always there for it. I wish we'd do that a little more, but
yeah. Instead he's running back to collect, right? And that's kind of not ideal. Okay, one more point. What did you think about the frenzy towards the end though? Were they playing for a draw or what was going on?
Were the Red Bulls playing for a draw?
Were the Red Bulls playing for a draw?
I think they were just playing this to stay alive because we've seen this. We were looking rough in terms of attacking early in this game, and we saw it early in the season. We've seen it throughout the season that in the second half, I wouldn't say we're a second half team because we've had good first halves. We definitely start to pour it on more in the second half and we start to get a feel for what we're doing. And especially when we have to come back in games. But that's the kind of chance. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the playoffs here because when you look at a game like that, in the playoffs, international, people hate on us because we get draws. But in the playoffs, drawing against a good team, that sends you to overtime or extra time. And we've proven we proved last year's playoffs we can win in extra time. We were consistent. We were pouring on chances late in the game. We ended up winning it late in extra time. But we've consistently been getting draws and wins against these good teams. So that's why I feel confident we can make a run in the playoffs because we've struggled against poor teams like Toronto, Montreal a little bit, teams like that. But when you look at the way we play against Philadelphia, New England, Orlando,
especially, I think we might have the best record against them in the
we do because we had a win and a draw. But in a situation like that, we didn't end up getting the goal, but you could feel a goal was coming, and you could feel that if this game went to extra time, we were going to win it. And that's why I feel so confident going into the playoffs is because even if we don't win outright, in extra time, I like Nashville more than any other team in this entire league.
You know what? I think we also another point in your favor there is that we have some depth going forward too. A lot of teams, like if you take their star off, you're almost like, what do you do from there? Mm-hmm. Like if you take Bedoya off, what does Philly do? Like do they collapse? I don't really know. But for us, we've got. I don't think it's ideal to have Cadiz up front, honestly.
Yeah, I honestly forgot he even played on our team for a minute.
Right. He comes on, it's 99.
And it's unfortunate that Rios is out, and hopefully we can get him back in time for the play. But even without Rios, we have Lobo, we have
That's
Sapong.
the thing, even with an
Cadiz
injury.
I have to say that with Cadiz, I was extremely upset with his performance against Miami, and I said I don't want to ever see him on the field for us again. And he got benched. He was on the field for us for a while after that, and he got benched. But I think he's been motivated by that. Yeah. He never hustled the way he did today at any point in the season. He was on a different level in terms of the effort he was putting on the field, which I think being on the bench has motivated him. He needs to fight for a spot, and that's what he did today. He played well today. I'll give him that. He didn't end up getting a goal or anything, but he created some chances. He's usually more of just a big body to head the ball in, but he was creating chances. And that's what I like to see from him.
I think that's right. So we have some depth going forward. We have depth going everywhere else too. I think in the middle though we had Dax come on. How'd you feel when he came on?
Well, I was happy to see him play for us. I think it's pretty clear he's going to retire next season with the way he's been, broadcasting the games. It's pretty clear he's going to become.
He's been in the booth a lot.
He's going to become a sports broadcaster next season. I think it's pretty clear. But
okay.
In terms of captaincy, I like where we're moving forward with Zimmerman. I didn't like in the midfield today with Wheel playing with Godoy as a central midfielder. Wheel doesn't. I don't know what position Wheel's. I don't know what his best position is. He's not a strong enough attacker to be considered a true winger.
He's not good enough at defending.
He can't be a wing back
ever.
or anything.
And
in the mid, he just seems to be a guy without a true position. And he's played. I'm not sure in the last couple of games, but I know through the majority of the season he had played every single game since he joined this team. And I think that stat still holds. There's never been a time where he has not gotten on the field while he's been on our roster, which I really agree with. Because I hope Wheel. I mean, he's good as a sub, but I hope I don't want to see him start in the playoffs. I think I would rather have Anunga, and I think he was out with yellow cards or something like that today.
Yeah, Anunga's a yellow card machine.
But I want to.
But he's when it comes to defending, he's dogged, and Moyle isn't.
Exactly.
I think Moyle he doesn't want to commit. I think he's scared. But then he also going forward often he'll just shoot it in the path of the keeper.
Yeah.
He doesn't. I'd say if I
he
had
lacks
to say
a creative spark, I would say.
Oh, for sure. He's Charlie Hustle, but his creativity is no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he hustles though, so I have to give him that. But any closing thoughts, Reid?
Well, I just want to say, when I was leaving the stadium, I was thinking back to the last time I was here on a Sunday, which was the 0-0 draw with Inter Miami at the beginning of the season. And I was thinking, at that point in the year, we had drawn with Cincinnati, we had drawn with Montreal, we just got a 0-0 with Miami, and I was thinking, we should be a playoff team this year, we should be able to sneak in as a 6 or 7, but I'm pretty worried. If you would have told me, obviously I wish we would have gotten second place.
It would have helped with,
but when you look back to that point, if you would have told me right now we would be hosting a playoff game, being the number 3 seed, and when you think about it, there's a chance we could host the Eastern Conference Final depending on how things go. If we win our first round game, we will host 2 playoff games this year. That's unbelievable for your second expansion season. If you would have told me that at the beginning of the season, I was worried about our attacking. I was worried about a lot of things.
I was worried too with the formation because we were playing that 4-4-2 at that point. Like with the Miami draw, I'm almost certain that was a 4-4-2 where we looked sluggish going forward. Things were clogged.
But it's been a tremendous season, and obviously I wish we got to win today. I wish a couple things got differently, but we looked great in the second half, and last regular season game, we have to reflect on the whole season. It's been an unbelievable season as a national.
It's been an unbelievable season. It's been one of.
I think when we talk about the MVP race, I think we also have to talk about the Coach of the Year, Gary Smith. I haven't heard a lot of talking about him as if he's not Coach of the Year, then there's something wrong with whoever's voting for that award.
I have seen his tactics evolve dramatically through this one season.
He makes great adjustments. He's coached his team. He's coached a team of these are all guys. Most of this team is from the expansion draft. These are all guys who weren't wanted at their former teams. He's put together this island of misfit toys and turned them all into. Pretty much every player on a team could have at least the slightest case for an all-star.
Honestly, and even Romney, he had been playing every game.
He had started every single game in our team's history until today, I think.
I think today was the first.
And I was kind of surprised.
We still don't know why.
But he's such a consistent defender.
He's consistent.
But unbelievable season for Nashville. I think going into the playoffs, I'm going to say my bold prediction for the playoff is we either lose round 1 or we win the MLS Cup. I don't think there's any in between.
Look, we go.
Because against Orlando,
Against
Orlando, we've looked rough. We haven't been our best. I think Orlando could beat us. But beyond that,
they know
how to play Nashville.
They read our book.
But beyond Orlando, I think when you look at Philadelphia, New York City, New England, I don't think there's a team in the East who could take us down. And then we look in the West. We haven't really played many Western teams, but I feel confident against either Seattle, LA, Sporting KC. My bold prediction: we're either out round 1 or we win the MLS Cup. Simple as that. This is a team that can win the MLS Cup.
Let's end it on that note. There we go. Reid, thank you for your thoughts.
Thank you for having me.
NSC Fan TV.